Barb Connor, 101 Williams Boulevard, Fairfax. I have three questions. One, where are the public records that were requested nearly 2 months ago by my attorney?
Our attorney has finished his work, and I checked in with Shane last week. I assume he's not done yet because he didn't tell me he's done yet. He's working on his, and I'm working on mine.
Do you have a time in mind, a timeline?
No, we're going back multiple years. I just know that once we reach the 20 hours, we're stopping and giving you the cost estimate at that point. We're not authorized to go over 20 hours.
Okay, number two, this is for Shane. Where are the final plans for West Cemetery Road and West Cemetery Road Bridge?
There are no final plans at this point.
Are there any plans?
No, not at this point.
So you're gonna leave West Cemetery Road the way it is and not replace the bridge?
Right now, that's not the plan. The plan is to replace the bridge at some point, but we don't have any plans at this point completed. We still have to talk with all the property owners along there, Barb.
Okay, do you have a timeline for that?
I don't.
Was there something a couple of years ago, or maybe a year ago, some sort of a plan for that bridge replacement, or has this always been up in the air? You've not ever had any plan?
Well, there's some preliminary plans that have been considered, but nothing is finalized. Barb.
Where would those be available to see?
When I think you'd have to talk to the mayor and council, but I think when they have stuff ready, the city's gonna talk with the property owners.
I was under the impression that you had drawn up some plans and that they were available to see in 2020. Is that correct?
They're not plans, they're just preliminary drawing, conceptual drawings. There's no measurements, there's no nothing. They're just,
Well, that's what I thought. I looked at something from 2020 and it was very vague.
yeah.
So, just a little, that bridge is 100 years old. It was built in 1916. And, I think it's every 2 years the city has to have the bridges inspected. And so it's at the point it needs to be replaced. So the city's talked about this for, several years now. And part of it was driven by the Highway 151 project. So now that that's over, I think that's one of the things the city's gonna look in more detail at, and try to get something resolved with that.
In the plan that I was looking at, or the map that I saw from 2020, there's a mention of a trailhead there. And, Kate, do you have a problem with this?
No, I don't. I'm sorry, I'm having stomach cramps right now, okay? That's what.
So anyway, is that correct? There's a
What
trailhead?
is that all about?
Oh, last month, when I brought up the trail, I also got the same reaction from Kate.
Well, yeah. What does
So,
it matter? Yeah.
pardon?
I don't know what you're,
Well, never
where
mind.
you're going, but,
Well, here's where I'm going. I'm asking a question.
okay.
Is there a trailhead and a veterans area going to be put there?
We have no idea yet. We don't even know how much
Well,
room is there.
the
Veterans area's going to
Veterans
complex.
Memorial is planned for
Veterans
the
Memorial
city
won't
park.
be there, no.
They're at where the 151 is proposed now, or where it sits now, on West Cemetery and 151.
Veterans Memorial is going in at the complex.
Okay, so to your knowledge, Shane, then West Cemetery isn't going to go to the north and come out across from the kiosk?
I don't know what you're asking.
No?
I
That,
don't know what you're asking.
so on what?
We had conceptual drawings originally, because we looked at that, replacing that bridge when they fell through the bridge on 151, and we had to fix that bridge. We looked at trying to fix our bridges, but we couldn't do that because of the we couldn't have all that torn up at the same time, so we had to wait. But we haven't actually decided what we're gonna do with that intersection area. We had talked about possibly moving it to the north a little bit to realign it better with the new DOT intersection. But I don't know if that's what we're gonna do or not. Marshall Harms is taking exception to giving up any more of his property. We haven't discussed that. He's got a letter in the packet. So at this point, we know we need to fix the bridge. We haven't determined where the road's gonna go or what we're gonna do with that area yet.
Okay, well, my third question is, if and when that ever comes to pass, I want to make sure that I have access to our property across the creek, as I discussed a month ago. Because when you start moving that bridge, I just want to make sure that I have access to our property. And I mean, is that going to happen?
If you have access now, then we would, I'm sure we'd have to let you still have access. We can't take your access away.
Okay.
So, I don't know, we haven't designed anything, we haven't talked about it yet.
Mhm.
We just know we have to fix the bridge, and we're not sure what we're gonna do with that intersection area yet.
Okay, well, the last time that we discussed it here, which it's probably been over a year ago now, maybe, well over a year because of COVID, my neighbors were here and they were also concerned about the West Cemetery plan that Shane had brought up because of the semi-turns coming out from on that, over by the kiosk. And so I just,
What do you mean by
or whatever it was for Fairfax.
Kiosk over there. Is that
For-
what you're talking about?
For Fairfax is
Side road, the old kiosk that's gone?
correct. Or,
Yeah,
well,
That's private.
That's
We don't-
private property.
no, but see, when Shane had his drawing back, I don't know, a year and a half ago, he was gonna have it come out near Casey's, and it was gonna be a tight turn, and there's so much truck traffic. That's what it was.
You're incorrect. I'm sorry where you're getting your information, but that's not correct.
It was right here.
Well, I can tell you for certain that the property in front of my parents is private. And
Okay.
there won't be any truck traffic on it.
Okay,
So
well,
whatever design goes on with that area, we haven't talked to anybody, we haven't looked to see what makes sense.
I know what she's talking about, as I'm saying, there was a conceptual drawing, because we were talking about that frontage road.
Right.
Yes.
But it wasn't gonna go anywhere near
But
that.
that was just a conceptual drawing, and we were waiting until the completion of the DOT project. Now that Harms is saying the visibility is improved.
Because the DOT wants all intersections to be T intersections with the highway. That's the one reason we're thinking about that, talking about it.
Well,
So
there's
there's
a
It's
lot
part
of
of their
different,
design.
We might not even move.
considerations.
I'm sorry, Shane, what did you say?
There's a lot of different considerations that have to go in with replacing that bridge.
Mhm.
So the city's gotta look at all those different, options and weigh those and figure out what's the best option, and then meet with the property owners, so.
Well, I hope that I would be a part of that decision when it happens, or at least have some knowledge of it before it happens, long before it happens. I mean, if there's a concept out there, this is going to affect our livelihood. And so, as these things arise, I want to be sure to be aware of these things.
It'll all be,
It'll all be public information.
it'll all be on the
Well,
agenda.
and the city will have to talk to all the property owners who, obviously, the city's gonna need some right-of-way easements, and whoever that impacts, be it yourself, Barb, or the other properties, or whatever, the city's gonna have to talk with those.
Well, and
property
see, that's what I thought, because when I talked to the mayor a while back, or maybe it was you, Shane, I don't recall, but you said Mr. Westerkamp was going to come visit me or call me about, it was you, Mayor, about that project for West Cemetery Road, and I've not heard from him.
He was trying to get appraisal prices for if we do have to, what property we do have to acquire, if we have to acquire a property there. That's what he was working on.
And he's not doing that anymore?
I have not heard anything back from
We
him. Like to say,
haven't, he's still waiting on final information from the city, so when we do finalize a plan, then that's when he'll continue to finish up work with the city.
Okay. And you guys don't have a timeline?
Not right now, it's
you
something
always
we've been trying
estimate
to,
one, but it wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
be true.
we've been trying to get to it, but other things keep coming up, so it's something that the city does need to look at and,
Anyway, you got anything else?
That's it.
Okay, thank you.